On modeling this part, early in the design process, I did an extruded surface in one direction, and then I did an extruded surface in another direction. Let's go ahead and flip that normal so that the colors are the same. And the question is, why did I do those extruded surfaces in order to create, this is the geometry that I want right here. I don't care about that, don't really care about that. That was just geometry that I needed in order to create this geometry. Well, the reason is to get the tangent option. So if I edit that lock feature, I see that I can put it to tangent or curvature G2, G1 or G2. If I have it just sketches, it's going to be G0. I can't put tangent to sketches, so I needed actual geometry to make that tangent to this extruded surface. And then when I mirror all of this geometry, everything is going to be smooth across here over to here. And when I move it to the bottom from here down to here. So that's the reasoning why I put in those extruded surfaces so I could get that tangency. So a similar type of problem comes up all the time. And let's say I have some geometry that I'm putting a fillet on here. So I put this first fillet on here and I see what I call a smiley face where this fillet is going up, and then I'll put on the second fillet, and so we see this fillet, and so I have this smiley face. I'm going to change that operation, so I'm going to suppress this feature, and so now I have this fillet first, and I'm going to come over here and I might have to put that one in again because I was experimenting with this. Uh, let's see if I could, if it won't let me edit that feature, then I'll just delete it and put it in again. I'm going to unsuppress it. And so I have what I call a frowny face. So one solution, depending on the order that you put those fillets in, results in a frowny face. The other results in a what I call a smiley face. There's our frown. I'm going to suppress that, and we'll go back and put the timeline marker before that. I'll unsuppress this one, and so there's our smiley face. Well, the question is then, how do we smoothly blend this in without the frowny face or the smiley face? So I'm going to unsuppress a feature that I put in here. So I've extruded this rectangle, and so and that gives us a cap or an end to this fillet and an end to this fillet. And it doesn't matter which order that I put these two fillets in now. They're going to be capped by this face, over here. Then I'm going to go to the surface tools, and so I'm on the surface modeling tab, and I'm going to delete these faces right here. So let's get the two on the bottom. Okay, so I'll delete this one and this one. I'll say okay to that. Now we can see inside of our object. So our object is no longer watertight. It has no volume, no mass. Now, let's go ahead, then we're going to put a patch on there. So I'll do a patch. And my previous example was a loft, but it's the same idea with this patch. Is I want to put tangent to these edges, and so I'll do tangent for each one of those edges. And go through and get them all. Got a couple more to do. Okay, this is the last one. Go back through and make sure that I got them all. And I'll say okay to that. And so now I have neither a smiley face or frowny face. I have a smooth blend going from this face back into here, from this around to here, uh, around the cylinder. So a nice smooth blend by capping those fillets. Now if I want to change the size of where that occurs, say this line, move it up, I could put the dimension in to put it exactly where that line would be. But I'm just going to drag this so show how you could adjust that to get what you want. This just has to come out beyond where these two would connect to each other. And then now I still have a surface body here, so I need to stitch these. So I'll do stitch this body, this surface to this surface, and it shows green that it's got a valid uh, boundary to stitch. I'll say okay to that. Now I have a solid body. So that's a way to get a smooth blend. Now, there's lots of different situations. This is just one example. Lots of different situations where you use a similar idea to cap those fillets so that you can then add a smooth blend in between them. Filleting can be one of the most complicated uh, uh, parts of the design process, and usually you add the fillets near the end of the design process. Not always, but as a general rule, fillets are usually added later in the design process. And try different orders of operation, and then uh, when all else fails, you can uh, try capping the ends and do a boundary patch or a loft.